Welcome back. Well, talking about the economic industrial zone in the Suez Canal, Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli held a meeting to follow up on new projects over there, the Chinese industrial zone Teda Misr, and actually it is affiliated with the Suez Canal economic zone. Well, over the phone we have Mr. Abdulatif Wahba, Ministerial Council journalist. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
So first of all, I'd like to shed the light on the importance of the Chinese area or project taking place over there in the Suez Canal.
Let us say first that the Chinese China was the first country investing in Suez Canal economic zone. And also, they are the first in establishing an economic zone for the Chinese industries in general. And since a decade, they increased their investment in this area, as it is an important place for the international trade coming from the south to the north and so on. And they built a logistics also hub in this area. This is, of course, to facilitate the Chinese exporters outside or coming from China, and then a transit in Suez Economic Zone, and then completing its manufacturing and exporting again to Europe. So the Chinese established over about 130 industries in this area, with the total investment about 1.6 billion US dollars. And I think now there is a competition between the Chinese and the other international investors in this area, as it is, as we can say, it is the corridor of Suez Canal Authority at the same time. This is, of course, will help the Egyptian economy as well as the Chinese industries. And at the same time, as you know, that the Chinese factories and the sectors working there, they are producing different goods and tools and so on. They exported, and at the same time, as you know, Egypt take some products, especially in electricity and oil industries and so on, from the Chinese industries working in this area.
So we can say that the development of this area, which it includes more than 130 industrial areas and service facilities, investments amounting to 1.6 billion US dollars. If I'm talking in general about also providing know-how in different sectors, providing job opportunities, participating in the economic growth, how do you see it?
Yeah, of course. As you know, that there is a historic and good relations between Egypt and China, and as you know, that President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi visited China many times. This means that Egypt is trying to diversify its international relations and not to depend upon the traditional markets or traditional allies like in Europe or the United States. So if you see this area, for example, where you will find factories working in utilities of new and renewable energy, as solar energy and wind. At the same time, companies also, Chinese companies also working in this area are interested in manufacturing of solar panels, as well as the solid seals and so on. And also they produce some outputs of their factories to the local markets in Egypt. This means that you can get a benefit on the economic level, and at the same time of taking technology and the know-how and to modernize your industry at the same time.
Well, whenever we are talking about projects taking place now in Egypt, all of these projects are taking place under the umbrella of the green economy and environmentally friendly. So, of course, the main aim is the sustainable development. So, if we moved on to different industries like the textiles and clothing, especially in China, they excelled on the concept of having clothes environmentally friendly. So, talking about this and talking about the cooperation with the Chinese side in the Sadat city in this respect, how do you see it?
Yeah, of course, as you know that China is one of the main leaders of producing or in the productions of textiles. They invested in many areas in Egypt, as you said, as you mentioned, in Sadat area. Especially in the clothes, factory of clothes, also textiles and so on. As you know that China is, or the Chinese market depends upon imports of the raw materials, especially from cotton. But in Egypt, they exploited our output of cotton in their factories, and they fabricated it and exported many productions to Europe and also to African states. At the same time, they provided the local markets, the Egyptian local markets, with its need. This is an important sector, Chinese working in Egypt. And as you know, at the same time, as you mentioned, that we are moving to green power and hydrogen and so on. The Chinese are working just now in many in other projects to produce renewable energy in Egypt. This is, of course, give advantage to the Egyptian economy. As you know that we depend upon the traditional fuel in producing electricity, for example, but with the new movement to the green power and so on, this means that you can save what you pay in traditional fuels to import traditional fuel from outside, especially if we use the Chinese output of in solar and wind planets, power planets, and so on. This, of course, as you know, that exchange of benefits between Egypt and China, as the Chinese at the same time to use their economic zone in Suez Canal corridor as a hub for gathering the Chinese half-made productions or goods or commodities and so on, and they refabricated it again in Egypt, and they exported it to Africa and to Europe and so on.
Right, Mr. Abdulatif Wahba, Ministerial Council journalist, thank you very much for joining us. Moving on to a quick break, then we'll be back.